Welcome to Web Development Basics. In this video, we'll explore the foundational concepts that power the websites and web applications you use every day. Whether you're interested in building your own site or just curious about how the web works, you're in the right place. We'll start by looking at what web development actually means, the different roles involved, and why understanding these basics is so valuable in today's digital world. By the end, you'll have a solid grasp of the core building blocks and be ready to take your first steps into coding. Let's dive in and discover what makes the web tick. Website is essentially a collection of web pages that are linked together and accessible through the internet. Each page can contain text, images, videos, and interactive elements. Websites can be as simple as a single page or as complex as massive platforms like social networks or e-commerce stores. Understanding what a website is helps set the stage for learning how they're built and maintained. As we move forward, keep in mind that every website you visit is made up of different components working together seamlessly to deliver content and functionality to users. Web development is often divided into two main areas, front-end and back-end. The front end is everything users see and interact with directly in their web browser, think layouts, buttons, and images. The back end, on the other hand, is what happens behind the scenes. It's responsible for storing data, handling requests, and making sure everything works smoothly. Both areas are crucial, and understanding the difference between them will help you decide which path you might want to explore further as you learn more about web development. HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language, is the backbone of every website. It provides the structure and organizes content into headings, paragraphs, lists, images, and links. Think of HTML as the skeleton of a web page. It tells the browser what each part of the page is and how it should be displayed. Learning HTML is the first step for anyone interested in web development, as it forms the foundation upon which everything else is built. In the next scenes, we'll look at how HTML works and why it's so important. So you have the structure of your website with HTML. It's time to make it look appealing. That's where CSS, or Cascading Style Sheets, comes in. CSS allows you to change colors, fonts, spacing, and layout, transforming a plain page into something visually engaging. With CSS, you can create unique designs and ensure your site looks great on any device. Mastering CSS is essential for anyone who wants to build attractive, user-friendly websites. Let's see how CSS works alongside HTML to bring web pages to life. JavaScript is the programming language that makes web pages interactive. With JavaScript, you can create dynamic features like image sliders, form validation, and real-time updates. It works alongside HTML and CSS to provide a seamless user experience. JavaScript is an essential tool for modern web developers, enabling websites to respond to user actions and display content dynamically. As you continue your journey, you'll find that JavaScript opens up endless possibilities for creativity and functionality on the web. Browsers like Chrome, Firefox, and Safari are the tools we use to access websites. They interpret HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to display web pages as intended. When you enter a web address, the browser requests the necessary files from a server and assembles them into a complete page. Understanding how browsers work helps you troubleshoot issues and optimize your sites for different devices and platforms. Let's take a closer look at the browser's role in web development. Web server is a computer that stores website files and delivers them to users when requested. When you visit a website, your browser communicates with the server to fetch the necessary data. Servers play a critical role in web development, ensuring that content is available and accessible around the clock. Understanding how servers work is key to building reliable and scalable websites. In the next scenes, we'll explore how servers interact with browsers and why they're so important. Every website needs a unique address, known as a domain name, and a place to store its files called hosting. The domain name is what users type into their browser to find your site, while hosting provides the server space needed to keep your site online. Choosing the right domain and hosting provider is an important step in launching any website. Let's break down how these elements work together to make your site accessible to the world. Responsive design ensures that websites look and function well on all devices, from desktop to smartphones. By using flexible layouts and media queries in CSS, developers can create sites that automatically adjust to different screen sizes. This approach is crucial in today's mobile-first world, where users expect seamless experiences no matter how they access the web. Let's explore the basics of responsive design and why it's a must-have skill for modern web developers. Frameworks are pre-written collections of code that help developers build websites faster and more efficiently. Popular front-end frameworks like React and Angular, or back-end frameworks like Node.js, provide tools and structures that simplify complex tasks. Learning to use frameworks can boost your productivity and help you follow best practices. In this scene, we'll introduce the concept of frameworks and why they're so widely used in web development today. Version control systems like Git allow developers to track changes in their code, collaborate with others, and revert to previous versions if needed. Git is an essential tool for modern web development, making teamwork and project management much easier. By learning Git, you'll be able to work on projects with confidence, knowing you can always recover from mistakes. Let's see how version control fits into the web development workflow. Text editors and integrated development environments, IDEs, are the tools developers use to write and manage code. Popular options include Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, and Atom. These tools offer features like syntax highlighting, code completion, and debugging, making the coding process smoother and more efficient. Choosing the right editor can greatly enhance your productivity as you start building websites. HTML is made up of tags, each serving a specific purpose. Common tags include H1 for headings, P for paragraphs, A for links, and IM for images. Learning how to use these basic tags is the first step in creating structured, readable web pages. As you practice, you'll discover how tags work together to build the content and layout of your site. ESS uses selectors to target HTML elements and properties to define their appearance. For example, you can use a selector to style all paragraphs with a specific color or change the font size of headings. Understanding how selectors and properties work is key to mastering CSS and creating visually appealing websites. Let's look at some common examples and how they're used in real projects. JavaScript has its own syntax or set of rules for writing code. This includes variables, functions, and events. Learning the basics of JavaScript syntax will help you create scripts that add interactivity to your web pages. As you get comfortable with the language, you'll be able to build more complex features and enhance the user experience. Document Object Model, or DOM, is a programming interface that represents the structure of a web page. JavaScript uses the DOM to access and modify HTML elements dynamically. By understanding the DOM, you can create scripts that respond to user actions, update content, and make your site interactive. The DOM is a key concept in web development, bridging the gap between static content and dynamic functionality. Forms are essential for collecting user input on websites, whether it's signing up for a newsletter or submitting feedback. HTML provides form elements like text fields, checkboxes, and buttons, while JavaScript can validate and process the data. Understanding how forms work is crucial for building interactive and user-friendly sites. Let's explore the basics of creating and handling forms in web development. Websites often include images, videos, and audio to enhance content and engage users. HTML provides tags for embedding multimedia, while CSS and JavaScript can control their appearance and behavior. Using multimedia effectively can make your site more attractive and interactive. Let's look at how to add and manage images and other media in your web projects. Links are the backbone of web navigation, allowing users to move between pages and access different sections of a site. HTML provides the tag for creating links, while CSS can style them for better usability. Good navigation is essential for a positive user experience, making it easy for visitors to find what they're looking for. Let's explore how to create effective links and navigation menus. Lists and tables help organize information on web pages. HTML provides tags for ordered and unordered lists, as well as tables for displaying data in rows and columns. Using these elements correctly makes your content easier to read and understand. Let's see how lists and tables can improve the structure and clarity of your web pages. Semantic HTML uses tags that describe the meaning of content, such as header, footer, article, and section. This approach improves accessibility, SEO, and code readability. By using semantic tags, you help browsers and assistive technologies understand your site's structure. Let's explore why semantic HTML is a best practice in modern web development. CSS box model describes how elements are displayed on a web page. Each element is a box with content, padding, borders, and margins. Understanding the box model is essential for controlling layout and spacing in your designs. By mastering this concept, you'll be able to create precise, visually appealing layouts for your websites. Flexbox and Grid are powerful CSS layout systems that make it easier to create complex, responsive designs. Flexbox is great for arranging items in a row or column, while Grid allows for two-dimensional layouts. Learning these tools will help you build modern, flexible websites that look great on any device. Let's see how Flexbox and Grid work in practice. Events in JavaScript allow your website to respond to user actions like clicks, key presses, and mouse movements. By handling events, you can create interactive features such as drop-down menus, sliders, and pop-ups. Understanding how to use events is key to building dynamic, engaging web experiences. Let's explore some common event types and how to use them in your projects. APIs, or application programming interfaces, allow websites to communicate with external services and fetch data. For example, you can use APIs to display weather information, social media feeds, or maps on your site. JavaScript provides tools like fetch to retrieve and display data dynamically. Understanding APIs opens up a world of possibilities for adding real-time features to your web projects. Databases store and organize the data that powers dynamic websites. Common types include SQL and NoSQL databases. The backend of a website communicates with databases to retrieve, update, and manage information. Understanding how databases work is crucial for building web applications that handle user accounts, content, and more. Let's look at the basics of databases in web development. Server-side languages like PHP, Python, and Node.js handle the logic and data processing that happens on the server. These languages generate dynamic content, interact with databases, and manage user authentication. Learning a server-side language is essential for building full-featured web applications. Let's explore the role of server-side programming in web development. Client-side code runs in the user's browser, handling things like layout, interactivity, and animations. Server-side code runs on the web server, managing data authentication and business logic. Understanding the difference between client-side and server-side helps you design efficient, secure, and scalable web applications. Let's compare these two sides of web development. Typical web development workflow includes planning, designing, coding, testing, and deploying a website. Each step is important for creating high-quality, reliable web projects. Following a structured workflow helps you stay organized and ensures your site meets user needs. Let's walk through the main stages of the web development process. Testing and debugging are essential parts of web development. Testing ensures your site works as expected on different devices and browsers, while debugging helps you find and fix errors in your code. Using tools like browser developer consoles and automated tests can save time and improve the quality of your projects. Let's explore some common testing and debugging techniques. Accessibility means making your website usable for everyone, including people with disabilities. This involves using semantic HTML, providing alt text for images, and ensuring good color contrast. Building accessible sites is not only the right thing to do, but it also improves SEO and user satisfaction. Let's look at some basic accessibility practices for web development. Search engine optimization, or SEO, helps your website rank higher in search engine results. This involves using relevant keywords, optimizing page structure, and improving site speed. Good SEO practices make it easier for users to find your site and increase your online visibility. Let's explore some fundamental SEO techniques for web developers. Web security is about protecting your site and users from threats like hacking and data breaches. Basic security measures include using HTTPS, validating user input, and keeping software up to date. Prioritizing security helps build trust and keeps your site safe. Let's cover some essential security practices for web development. Performance optimization ensures your website loads quickly and runs smoothly. Techniques include compressing images, minimizing code, and using caching. Fast websites provide a better user experience and can improve search rankings. Let's look at some ways to optimize your site's performance. Mobile-first development means designing your website for mobile devices before scaling up to larger screens. This approach ensures your site works well on smartphones and tablets, which are now the primary way many people access the web. Using responsive design and touch-friendly elements is key to mobile-first development. Let's explore why this strategy is so important today. Progressive enhancement is a strategy for building websites that work for everyone, regardless of their device or browser. Start with a basic, functional site, then add advanced features for users with modern browsers. This approach ensures accessibility and a good experience for all visitors. Let's see how progressive enhancement benefits web development. There are many ways to host a website, from shared hosting to cloud services. Each option has its pros and cons depending on your needs and budget. Understanding the different hosting types helps you choose the right solution for your project. Let's compare some common web hosting options. Content management systems, or CMS, like WordPress and Joomla, make it easy to create and manage websites without coding everything from scratch. They offer templates, plugins, and user-friendly interfaces. Using a CMS can speed up development and simplify site maintenance. Let's look at how CMS platforms work and why they're popular. Joining web development communities can help you learn faster, get support, and stay updated on industry trends. Online forums, social media groups, and coding meetups are great places to connect with other developers. Being part of a community can motivate you and provide valuable resources as you grow your skills. Now that you know the basics, it's time to put your knowledge into practice. Start by planning your site, creating a simple layout with HTML, styling it with CSS, and adding interactivity with JavaScript. Don't worry about making it perfect, focus on learning and experimenting. Building your first website is a great way to reinforce what you've learned and gain confidence. Deploying your website means making it live and accessible to users on the internet. This involves uploading your files to a web server and configuring your domain name. There are many tools and services that simplify deployment, even for beginners. Let's walk through the basic steps to get your site online. Maintaining your website is an ongoing process. This includes updating content, fixing bugs, improving performance, and keeping security measures up to date. Regular maintenance ensures your site remains reliable, secure, and relevant. Let's discuss some best practices for website maintenance. Web development is a constantly evolving field. New tools, languages, and best practices emerge all the time. Staying curious and committed to learning will help you keep your skills sharp and adapt to changes. Explore tutorials, read articles, and experiment with new technologies to stay ahead in your web development journey. Congratulations on completing web development basics. You've learned about the core technologies, tools, and concepts that form the foundation of the web. The next step is to keep practicing, build your own projects, and explore more advanced topics. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Keep coding, stay curious, and enjoy your journey into web development.